Recording has started. Let everyone know it's being recorded. Fellow commissioners are being recorded. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Meeting is called to order. We'll start with approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Do you have a copy of the December 23rd minutes over there in the folder?
Let me give you that folder. Here.
The same thing, if you want, you can switch, but
I'll go ahead and read them.
okay.
For today.
Yeah, it's all good.
So Monday, December 23rd, 2024 minutes. At the hour of 10 a.m., the Board of Commissioners of Macomb County, Montana met in regular session with Ty Taylor, Ellen Stemple, and Lonnie Jensen present. Presiding officer Ty Taylor called the meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance was recited. Agenda was approved. The board reviewed the December 16, 2024 minutes. Commissioner Taylor motioned to approve the minutes as read, and Commissioner Stemple seconded them. Motion passed 3-0. Commissioner Jensen reported on the Macomb County Health Center board meeting he attended in Circle on December 18, 2024. Connie Eisinger, Frank Wright, Greg Berger, and Chad Bieber were added as board members. The board discussed the Macomb County Health Center improvement project. The board is waiting for McKinstry Industries to provide additional information before reimbursing them for work that was completed. Great Northern Development Corporation was reimbursed for work that they completed on the project. Board discussed the next era of wind energy project. The board continues to develop zoning regulations, which are in accordance with the newly approved growth policy. Board reviewed the Montana Older Americans Act program contract. Commissioner Taylor motioned to approve the contract, and Commissioner Stemple seconded the motion. Motion passed 3-0. Ellen Roseanne, South Road Department foreman, met with the board to discuss road conditions, snow removal, holiday schedule, and personnel issues. Roger Shera, Circle Fire Chief, met with the board to discuss fire department issues, a house fire, and potential issues at the Macomb County Health Center. Peter Crockett, treasurer, met with the board to deliver the November 2024 cash reconciliation report and delinquent tax list. There's currently $191,248.38 in delinquent taxes. Meeting was open to public participation at 1 p.m. Doug Shenham and Ken Eli, television board members, met with the board to discuss the tax status for television equipment, potential acquisition of the Hines Tower site, and future issues for funding and access. Jeff Skyberg and Roland Peterson, airport staff, met with the board to discuss hangars and airport issues. Sherry Cluth, clerk and recorder, met with the board to allocate the remaining American Rescue Act grant funds. Correspondence occupied the board the rest of the day. Meeting adjourned at 5 p.m.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as read.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Morning, John.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
We're recording.
Yep, I see your medical sign.
You get,
Yeah, I read it. Yep.
We were just trying to get a couple things done before 11, but
we got one.
we got one.
Hey, that's better than none.
Mondays can be busy, especially in the first of the year.
Well, does anybody have any committee reports?
I don't.
We got two things done.
These are on a roll.
All right.
Don't stop now.
Oh, is your I see you want to know if you could record the next meeting.
We're trying to.
I mean, cause yeah, she wanted to be able to listen to it. Perfect.
Yeah, our L, we think is working. We've done some other stuff on it, and then Ross Feehan will be calling in, so
Okay,
we're trying to.
It says recording has started, so.
And then we'll just go through the process like we do with the regular minutes, because the Jake from DIS and Chris from whatever that thing is,
yeah.
Chris, and theoretically they connected, and then Chris will get it on our website.
Okay, perfect. I will let her know.
It started to snow pretty good out there.
Yeah, it's really coming down. I was shocked. I hadn't looked outside for a while.
Yeah, the weather forecast really did show it.
No,
Actually, it was supposed to hit early this morning and be done.
that's what I heard last night. I thought it was supposed to be done. So it must have been off by 12 hours or so.
Are we just gonna call in and join by phone on this, or?
How,
I don't know how many actions I
He
could
was-
do on this thing.
he was, let me find the thing. He emailed us. I think he emailed us at home.
Have a good Christmas.
It was good. Yeah, how about you guys?
I'm good.
They wanna listen, they can hear. what
Yeah,
I say for
yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah, no, our Christmas was good. My folks came in. We got to stay at home, so my parents and my in-laws both came to our house. And good.
So Ross Feehan, he emailed us, and there's a Microsoft Teams thing, and there's a dial in by phone. You can join on video conferencing. I assumed he was gonna call us. But if not, then we can call him.
Okay.
Sure, you know. He's calling her.
Cause he didn't say, he just, let's see.
If it's just by phone, that's fine with me. I'm kind of camera shy.
Because so Ross's email is looking forward to discussing the attached draft development agreement. And then it's got Microsoft Teams join the meeting now, dial in by phone is another option. So I would assume if we don't hear from him at 11, then we try dialing this number and see what happens.
Thinks he's calling her, she don't know either.
But he's calling us.
Yes, she
Okay.
thinks she wasn't.
She might. Only had two things that I really had concerns about.
He might not.
Oh, I don't need.
I don't know, is it all there? When I printed that out this morning, I thought I ended up with a lot of pages.
Yeah, I thought so.
It's not all of it.
No, I didn't think so, cause you know, I printed one off and then I printed another one and I got all kinds of stuff. So I might have them mixed together.
No, you give me the first stuff.
First one, yeah, but then when I went to
Print it up.
reprint it,
Yeah, I think there's
I got like twice the pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even, things are all screwed up.
And
It's all right, but I read through the entirety and there were only two real big things that, you know, gave me pause, so.
Well, and our plan is to listen today and.
Yep.
So well, I mean, we can provide some feedback and raising those issues will be good. But, and then us going forward, what we should do is have this available so people can check on it. And then put it on our agenda to discuss it again or, you know, review it, something. And give people, I'm almost wondering if we shouldn't publish it in the paper like we do, you know, put it in the, well, you know, publish it for 2 weeks in a row someplace, even if it's our Facebook page or
Yeah.
something. So that if people wanna read it or whatever. So maybe look at trying to meet with him again telephonically in a month.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, cause that way.
I think that gives plenty of chance for the public to weigh in if they want.
Yeah, so. Okay. Does that work, Lonnie?
yeah.
Checking. We're all really back.
Been a fishing yet?
No, we put some lines in the creek over the field, but that ice report was 2 to 5 inches and I had a little problem with that, but now they're saying 7 or better.
Yeah, I
so,
think 7 to 9 is the
Yeah.
last I.
Yeah.
You didn't want to be walking in 2 to 5 inches.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, when the grandkids were all here, we put some in the creek and got one northern. That was a little slow. But
Yeah,
it gets them out of the house, just send them down the creek with a
there you go.
side by side to check lines, so, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good use. Good use of time over the Christmas break.
Didn't have any snow for them to go sledding, so.
No. So we started chasing wrestling last weekend, so.
That's right. Harry, right?
Yeah.
Were you there? We skipped Harry because it is so crowded in that
Wow.
dang gym.
Oh,
Oh, it's bad.
You know, and,
Try to fit 600 people in there.
and everybody had their winter coats, you know,
Oh,
so
yeah.
they've got their space and then they're taking up another space with their coats. And yeah, you'd go to look like nobody was sitting there, but you couldn't sit there because everything, yeah, it was pretty wild.
Yeah, that's the one we skip every year. Plus, I mean, so soon. I mean, we barely have 3 practices in.
Circle's got, I think they told me 28 kids out, and they only had 4 kids down there, so that wrestled, so. Then there was one in Culbertson yesterday, but, or not Culbertson, Colstrip.
Oh, yeah.
Colstrip, but didn't make that one.
That one is huge.
Yeah, it is. They got up west, people.
Yeah, there was we went, there were some Bozeman kids. I want to say there was a Wholesome kid.
I'm gonna
We're
go.
currently recording our meeting, but you're welcome to attend.
That's what I'm here for.
Okay.
How's it going? Good.
You didn't have any circle wrestlers at Colstrip?
No, we didn't. We, had to load 700 lambs yesterday morning.
Oh.
So I, kind of bowed out of taking kids wrestling to Colstrip.
I didn't go down there either.
Yeah. I find that wrestling sure takes up a lot of time.
It's short lived though.
Yeah.
Unless you're poaching it.
Well, that's kind of the boat I'm stuck in right now.
Well, I meant, it's still when your kids are
Yeah.
gone, they're gone.
Yeah. Well, and it's fun too. I mean, it's enjoyable while you're there and it's a short season and, I mean, as far as, I mean, I look at my oldest and it's like 8 years he's gone, you know, so, yeah. We've already been wrestling for 5. So,
Did you see at 28?
28 right now, yeah. That's 28 without the group kids, cause I don't know if they're coming or going, or I don't have any group kids yet, so they go up.
I think it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. We got a lot of kids I wish would come out. But it's hard to convince them.
We're waiting for a phone call, so
What's that?
we were just waiting on a phone call, so.
But we're currently recording anyway.
Are you recording?
Yep. You're welcome to say anything you want, it's just, we are recording.
That cylinder is 3,000 fix. If I take it to Spencer, they have to cut that end off and go through the other way to get it apart.
What's the cost for a new one?
9,000.
Every time he comes up.
Just the barrel, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a-
How big's the check today?
Yeah.
Does it come with any kind of warranty for $3,000?
Yeah.
Or do we just have a 30-year-old piece of equipment that we spend $3,000 on, and hope for the best?
Well, I don't suppose there'll be, they'll put it back together the way it's supposed to be put back together, but if it leaks in a year,
I guess I'm kind of asking, it's got wear and tear on it, should we just buy a new one?
new cylinder,
Yeah.
that's a remanufactured cylinder, they ain't even a new one. 10,000 or better
So
for,
basically if you have a rebuild for 3,000, you're getting the same thing as if you buy
$9,000.
a 9,000, a rebuilt cylinder.
But it's okay by me either way, I'm just asking. So
I just
get it fixed.
Just get it fixed, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'd do. He said 2,600 to 3 to fix it. Cause they gotta cut that barrel apart.
Kind of broke.
Ross just texted us, the Microsoft Teams working, so we're gonna have to call that number.
Have the numbers?
Oh, yeah, ready? 1-786-633-4199. Then can you put it on speaker and we can?
Yeah.
Welcome to the audio conferencing center. Please enter a conference ID followed by pound.
588 049 875 pound.
If you're the meeting organizer, press star now.
Not the organizer, are we?
You're now joining the meeting. Please wait for the leader to admit you to the meeting. Thank you for your patience. You're now joining the meeting.
You're gonna have to tell who's here.
Can you hear me?
Hello, is this Ross?
Yeah, this is Ross. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. This is Lonnie. Ty and Ellen are both here. We've got the county attorney, John Rubus is here. Our county road foreman is here, Ellen Roseanne, and then we have a rancher from west of town, Cody Hopper here.
Okay, terrific. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for making the time today. Appreciate it. Yeah, just wanted to get some time with you all today to introduce the draft development agreement, which was attached to the calendar invitation this morning. And I can send that to the email as well. So there's another copy there. But just to set the table a little bit, this is a development agreement which we would like to offer and propose to Macomb as part of this project, of course. And happy to talk through it or go through it. I'm sure there'll be questions or comments. And so my thought was just to introduce it today and then, give the county commission and county attorney some time to digest it. And we can then continue the conversation as you all see fit. But big picture, this is meant to offer some commitments, some binding commitments that we would take on as a developer here, including things like setbacks, noise limitations, and a number of other components here that would affect, of course, the project and the participating and non-participating landowners nearby. So wanted to introduce that, if that sounded all right with the commission, but also happy to go in any other direction you see fit.
I think we're good. If you want to go ahead, yes, Ross.
Yep. Are you able to look at it as I talk through it? Do you have a copy in front of you?
I did have, but I loaned it out.
Our county attorney has our current copy. We'll get more copies made as we talk though.
All right, yeah. Okay, well, yeah, if you had a copy that might help us track some of the call outs, but again, I'm happy to send this by email, to attorney or others. Just big picture, there's the development agreement you can think of as the container for a number of other subsequent agreements that we are currently preparing for you, and we'll get that to you as soon as possible. Those are called out in section 3 of this agreement, but really the bulk of this agreement is going to be in pages 3 and beyond. But before we get there, this agreement called for, a road use agreement between us and the county, a decommissioning agreement, a contribution agreement, and then an impact fee agreement. So again, the development agreement is the overarching, the umbrella, and then there are going to be a number of additional attachments that come after this and as part of this. Those I don't have for you today, but I will get those to you as soon as I can. So one, obviously a big topic of concern and conversation in recent months for this project has been setback requirements. Hearing the community concerns we have, and I'm now looking at page 3, where we get into those numbers. We have committed ourselves to a 1 mile setback from any turbine to any non-participating the home of the landowner, so a residence. Now, in Macomb County, our current development plan, there's not a single non-participating landowner with a residence a mile away from a turbine. All of those residences are greater than a mile away, so this is less relevant in Macomb County particularly, but this is the same numbers that we're also proposing in Ferry and Dawson as well. So there's that piece. When we talk about setbacks, we also talk about, non-participating versus participating landowners. When it comes to participating landowners in their homes, that's really up to their discretion. And they can dictate to us whether they want a setback greater than our minimum for safety reasons, which is 1,000 feet, If they want more than that, then they can dictate that to us. We leave that to their discretion as participating landowners. Another piece here is property lines. So when we talk about property lines, we're talking about, again, non-participating versus participating. For non-participating, the agreement here has 1.1 times the tip height. Now, that comes out to about 632 feet in total. And again, that's the minimum distance that we would have between a turbine and non-participating property line. For participating property line, there we have a different distance, which is the length of the blade plus 10 meters. For the turbine technology we're looking at for this project, that turns out to be about 285 feet total. So that is what, those are kind of the nuts and bolts in this page on page 3. Again, those numbers, especially when it comes to that setback from non-participating residences, that's directly coming out of a number of conversations and concerns we've heard from the community this fall. We also have setbacks. I mean, as a firm, we have over 30 setbacks from all sorts of other, infrastructure, including public roads, communication equipment, existing transmission equipment in the area. So there's a lot more to it, but these seem to be the most important, given our conversation so far. So those are specifically called out. There's another piece here which has to do with nighttime viewing and the dark skies. Again, hearing the community concerns there, we are, as part of this agreement, committing to installing a technology called ADLS, which is Aircraft Detection Lighting System. Now, this has to ultimately be approved by the FAA and the DoD. We do not expect any concerns that they would have in approving this technology. We've installed it at many projects across the country. So no expectation that would be a problem, but ultimately it does have to be federally approved. And what this does, as has been discussed, is the lights go on when there's an aircraft in the area and the lights are off otherwise. Now we do, just to set expectations, we do make sure folks know this radar technology that allows the lights to go on and off, it requires a teething period. So it requires about 6 months once the project is up and running to really understand its local environment, to understand, it's the ridge lines, the birds, the cattle versus the actual aircraft. Once that calibration period is complete, we see these lights being on about 5 to 10% of the nighttime. Now, it so happens that that's usually when people are still awake, just given when airplanes fly, oftentimes not flying at 2, 3, 4 a.m. But we do see a lot of success with this technology, and it is not installed at that project of ours in Rosebud, Custer, and Garfield counties, but we are proposing it to this one. So that's point number 7 here on page 4. And then the agreement gets into some other things like sound levels, again, participating versus non-participating landowners, shadow flicker, insurance that we would provide and documentation of that insurance, emergency services, every turbine having a 911 address, etc. I'm now looking at page 6, where we talk about additional local parties, including Great Northern Development Corporation. So we will have a separate and independent agreement with Great Northern. But as part of that, we would have money dedicated to Macomb County's emergency management services, including law enforcement and fire. And then in addition to that, we would also set up a sponsorship fund. This contribution agreement is part of that, and that is money to be used by the county in ways determined by the county for, all sorts of events that might be happening. Our wanting to do our part as a neighbor here in supporting those events. So that's point number 12 on page 6. we're happy to make public the environmental summary. Obviously, there are lots of studies that go into this project. We're happy to provide updates to county residents and to the commission on a quarterly basis at public meetings. The end of this page talks about the tax abatement piece as part of this, which I know the commission has taken a vote on in 2024. We would like to continue that conversation, and that is addressed briefly in this in 2015 on page 6. And again, we would look to continue that conversation with you as part of this. And then this document more or less wraps up with talking about the impact fees that we would pay to the county, which is again the maximum amount allotted under Montana law. And then I would say the rest of the document is more or less legalese, if you will, just with kind of notices, addresses, signature pages, and another legal boilerplate section. So I will pause there. I realize I spoke a lot. Happy to go in any direction folks have or questions folks have.
So Ross, one thing, this is Lonnie, a lot of these, like the setbacks and stuff, are they already in the landowner's lease?
Not these particular ones. So, our agreements with participating landowners specifies a 1,000 foot setback from a residence as a minimum. Again, that we have seen in many examples, folks tell us that they want that change, that they want turbines here, not there, and so we make those adjustments with them. Those leases, of course, are not going to address a non-participating residence, and so that's why this agreement has those commitments in it. You can think of this this doesn't erase what's in the lease with our participating landowners. It's in addition to that.
Okay.
And Ross, this is John Rubis, the county attorney. I can't remember exactly where it's stated.
Nice to meet you, John.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, just say nice to meet you.
Oh yeah, nice to meet you too. So there is, I'm trying to find what page it was on, but basically it was in compliance with zoning laws and zoning ordinances, and it stated that the county would be precluded from, well, not precluded from putting in new zoning ordinances, but that if any new zoning ordinances were put in after the date of this agreement, that the county would hold New Era basically exempt from all those zoning requirements. And that's completely understandable. What is New Era's stance on current zoning requirements, if there are any, or zoning ordinances? Would you be asking to be exempt from those as well?
And John, are there specific zoning ordinances you have in mind at this point in Macomb?
I do not know. That's what I was just wondering if there was something that they had looked into.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Yeah. So look, I mean, the development agreement you can think of as an alternative to zoning, or even it can complement zoning as well. I mean, the county wishes to pursue zoning. That's at the county's discretion. As you just named, this agreement would essentially be grandfathered into future zoning regulations that would come in place afterward. The opportunity here in the form of a development agreement is that it's certainly less expensive for the county to maintain and to set up. And then it's also targeted in terms of who it affects and what the county wants out of it. So we see those as opportunities for the county here, but ultimately you could have, at the county, you could have both. You could have zoning and you could have a development agreement. And I ask to the commission here, what's the latest activity, if any, and when it comes to potential zoning, industrial zoning?
We've obtained, a copy of Weebo counties and have looked through that. Other than that,
Hey Ross, this is Alan. What we've also got, we do have an updated growth policy, which has some requirements in it.
Yep.
And we're trying to work through that, and match that up with what would work to make sure that the growth policy, cause that got approved in November, something like that, October, November. So we're in the process of looking through that, cause it has some issues that may or may not require having zoning regulations. So we're just trying to match up what our growth policy is, what we need to do going forward.
Okay. Yeah, and I hope, to the commissioners on the call, I hope you received the letter. This would have been a few weeks ago now in December. It was a letter from me to the Prairie Commission, but I know I got you a copy as well, and the other participating counties, were copied on that letter as well. This is a letter just making very clear and explicit that we will not break ground for any form of, construction for this project this year, as in 2025. And the thought there, and hopefully the understanding there is that, look, I mean, I very much appreciate that a lot of this has been coming to folks fast, that there's a lot to digest and learn about and wrap your head around, and just want to provide assurances that there is time here to take a breath, to understand things, to have these conversations. I think today's meeting is exactly one of those conversations I was hoping to have with you all. So hope you got that letter as well as you're looking at the whole landscape here.
Yeah, Ross, we got the letter and we've talked about it. And we're not trying to rush anything through. We're not doing what Weebo County did. That's not our intention. It's just that we do have to work with what our planning board gave us on the updated growth policy, and our county planner is. No, our county planner. Stolly Engineering. So we've had conversations with them. We're not trying to do what Weebo County did, but we are trying to make sure that what we've got matches what our growth policy has. So that's the stage we're at. So we're gathering information. Weevil County's thing is one of the things, and we've talked to Robbie. Oh, I'll come up with her name eventually. But she works for Stolly, and then they're the ones that are our county planners. So the company is, and then she worked with us on getting the growth policy through. So that's what we're just trying to make sure that what we've got for there is gonna match going forward.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense. It just, kind of as an aside here, this is a draft development agreement. As I said, there's gonna be some exhibits or, supplements to it, the other agreements I mentioned, like the road use agreement. I'm gonna get those to you as soon as I can. Another thing I'll be getting the commission is, a revised map of the footprint here for this project in your county. We're right now in January rolling out those updates to landowners who are participating. You may recall in the fall, we did what we call micrositing, which is we have a team go out and in very, very targeted, detailed ways say where we think that the turbine location should be for each and every turbine. We now have all that data collected and put onto maps, and so we're gonna have those conversations with those landowners, and at the same time, get a revised map to the county here. So just so you know what we're currently looking at.
Yep, that sounds good. And then we've got, at this point, we've got the first map we got, so that's up on the wall of the commissioner's office. We've got a file folder, just collecting all this information as well.
Yeah. Great, yeah. So, yeah, I'm definitely committed to getting you all this information as it trickles in. I can appreciate it can be, it can be sometimes frustrating to not have all the information at once, but I do appreciate your patience and we'll get that to you, hopefully soon here.
Okay,
The only other thing I would mention is this development agreement, has been drafted and shared with the Prairie Commission as well as the Dawson Commission, just for your own awareness here. The only difference being, you know, in those two counties, we're talking about Eastern Plains Economic Development Corporation as opposed to Great Northern. But all the other terms, all the other numbers, the setbacks, et cetera, is all the same for all three counties for the project as a whole. So no difference there. That providing this draft to those counties happened last week, and then here we are with you all this week. So just so you're aware, everyone's kind of on the same page at this point.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Well, I again appreciate everyone's time, and happy to answer any follow-up questions folks may have. Obviously, you have my contact information, and I'll hope to get there in person sooner rather than later. Always like coming out in the circle. So thanks again, everyone.
All right, thanks for calling in, Ross.
yep,
All right, thank you.
yep, bye.
We do it 2 or 3 times because we found out that
It doesn't always
it doesn't
hang
always
out.
hang out the first time.
Tom, where did you find that?
The zoning?
That's
Yeah.
completely different.
Oh, yes, I just got that.
Okay.
I don't know if I might buy it. or-
Yep, it is. It just got out of it.
So if you're good with it, I think we should send this draft to Chris Fuller and have him post it like you post our other stuff.
Oh, on our website, yeah, yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
Because people are gonna have questions. I mean, if Connie's calling in to get a copy of that conversation, and then we have a file folder. Our map is on the wall behind Alan. Oh, no, is that
Yeah, that's right there,
that is the map? Okay.
for
So
sure.
we do have a map on the wall, and then, so, I mean, if you wanna see what else we've got, we're just starting a file folder,
Sure.
so. And then have you met Ross, this guy that was talking on here? Or,
That's questionable. I can't remember. all.
I mean, it doesn't matter, so he's the lead guy
Yeah.
from next year that we've seen,
Yeah,
so he's been to the meetings and stuff. Just to give you
he's a
context,
perfect hair guy.
yeah,
Yep,
Yeah.
I know who he is then.
It's on page 2 under B, section 2, county approval, future cooperation, under the future cooperation.
Page 2.
Basis says, without limiting the foregoing in the event the county adopts any zoning or other laws after the effective date that would make the development, construction, operation, repair, replacement, and maintenance of the wind project a non-conforming use under such zoning, blah, blah, blah.
Page 2,
Yep, page 2.
under B. That's landowner participation,
I think you're in the wrong, I think yours didn't come,
Okay. Then I,
oh, sorry, it's 2 on the email. So it's section 2, county approval on future.
okay. Section 2.
There you
Future
go.
growth.
Yep, there you go.
And then under section 2, correct me if I read this right, but under 15, it says new and expanding industry tax abatement. Did we approve a tax abatement for these guys?
No,
Well, it says that,
that what he said it was in there, but.
it says developer has previously submitted an application to the county for abatement of certain property tax pursuant to Montana Code annotated 1524, 1401, 1402. County acknowledges and agrees that contemporaneously with the execution of this agreement and the definitive agreements, the county has approved developer's application for tax abatement by duly authorized and executed resolution of the commissioners.
That's if we sign this one right here.
That's what I'm saying. If you sign that, you agree to that tax commitment.
Exactly.
So that sounds like that needs to be a null and void.
Well, yeah, and that's why he keeps bringing it up. He wants us to,
Right,
I know it, I know, yeah. That's why we got a month to figure out
Right.
what we need to cut out and what we don't.
right. Okay, well, that's what I was like, I read that and I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound like what we want to hear.
Yeah, those were the two things that popped up when I first read it, was with the zoning, they basically want to be grandfathered into everything. And two is the tax.
And every time he's called us, that's what he brings up, is he wants to come into conversation with us to do that. So that,
Well, and I'm sure they would.
yeah, well, I'm sure they would.
Right, and I'm sure when they hear that you guys have reviewed Weebos and everything they got going on, that gives them a little puckering action too. Cause that's,
Yeah, it's not the same company, but it's still the
same contract.
same contract.
But I'd encourage you guys to continue to look for it at that Weebo one seriously.
But it's,
No, we're looking at it. We're just gonna try to feed it in. We talked to that Robbie and he said, look, we just gotta put some teeth in it.
Right.
Our planning growth planning.
Right.
We just gotta figure out how to put the teeth
Right.
to it. You can write a lot of things on paper.
of course. Yeah. So he didn't ask for a follow-up yet. So, okay.
Oh, we kind of sound like we got a year.
Well, I mean, he'll be back in touch, and I think once the weather's better, he's gonna come.
Well, I
visit.
know that. I'm at the.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Till a
Yeah,
year.
we have a year to get something settled
Yeah.
out. But like, if he's not pushing us to work on this, I mean, then I think we take our time and we look at it. So then when he calls up and says, okay, I want to talk about it next, then okay. And if it's on our agenda, then we're good. We can talk about it. But with this stuff going forward, I think we want to start doing, like, actually post it 2 weeks prior. So, cause I mean, we're glad that you came in, but we generally don't get the public to come in. So I think there's enough interest that if we can post it for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So we get more of a,
Well, just in case, so somebody can't,
Yeah,
oh, I missed
yeah.
the paper, I missed the agenda or whatever. And then we'll start using the Facebook page, I think, as well, saying, okay, for this subject in particular, we'll get it out there so that either more people can call in or stop in or whatever.
yeah, and this needs to get out so they can all kind of look at it.
Well, I think, I talked to Sherry and I think, and Lonnie said we can do it. I'll send it to Chris Cooler
Yeah,
and they'll put it on. We could also ask, cause I'm not even sure who controls our Facebook page, the courthouse one. I'm guessing it's Savannah, but either way,
yeah.
we could just ask whoever it is and say, okay, can you post this on?
Yeah.
Cause then be on Facebook, it'll be on our website. And then I put my copy in this folder here.
Let's send it to Greg Berger, he'll get it all.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
Do what?
Send it to Greg Berger, he'll get it everywhere.
Well, I'm thinking that, I guess I'm shocked that Greg and Frank didn't ask.
Oh, trust me, that's the reason it's it.
Oh, okay, all right.
They
So,
couldn't make it in today, so they reached out, I said, I'll go sit in.
okay, did you get a copy of the electronic email?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
So. And if it did, I didn't notice it, just put it down.
Well, no, it just, we just got it, so.
Yeah,
Do you have an email you wouldn't mind sharing?
Yeah, C_Hobber 41. At Hotmail.
At Hotmail.
Yeah, I'm not the only guy in the world with a Hotmail.
I got that, that was my address I got in college. So that's a 30-year-old email, so it still works just fine. That's what I tell my wife, I know it, I don't wanna change something I don't have figured out.
we got hacked, so we had to change ours.
Yeah,
I don't know mine anymore. I gotta go to my wife and say, what is my email?
My Hotmail was hacked a while ago too, so. I see a Yahoo one every now and again.
have you
That's what
researched
we
that
have.
cylinder, that part number? Cause there's a lot of online outfits that sell stuff pretty cheap,
I just went through Torgerson's is where I went this morning.
right?
That's the only place I went. I mean,
Cause like,
whether I go through Titan or I go through Torgerson, Titan, it's Torgerson's now.
right.
Yeah.
I know, like, when I had to replace the springs on one of my pickups, I found it for about a third of the price from a company out of Kansas City that's all American made stuff. But they shipped it to me for a third of the price. delivered to my house with the truck, so I was just curious if you, cause there's a lot
Well,
of,
it's, you know, and case seems to be one of the worst. There's only so many parts available.
trencher went bad. It busted the head clean off the big one on the back that lifts the whole arm. I got mine from, brokentractor.com. And it was, I think they quoted me, Vermeer quoted me like 4,500, and I think I paid 1,200 for it from them. And it's a remanufactured cylinder, but that's third price,
I'll close the all.
you know, so I was like,
Get the
yeah,
all
that's
off,
great.
you
idea.
know?
So that's why I was asking you, because
Right,
it seems
no,
like,
and I can go out there and look at some of that.
We probably should let it run sometime.
Still, if I'm paying 4,500 for the cylinder,
Right.
3,000 to fix it.
right,
You could buy.
well, that's what these guys, they have. a
Yeah, that's true.
Well, they
It's your
wanted my
call.
old one,
However you wanna do
because
it.
I'm sure they were gonna fix it.
Can mute the mic.
Oh, I should.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, but it was like 1,400-1,500 bucks delivered to my house, so. So, there's just some big companies that do that stuff.